Welcome back all. So I'm going to do a quick map overview. And as I mentioned when I was actually doing the walkthrough to this, there's a lot here, but it's also kind of spread out. You know, you got to kind of like fly around, then climb, fly, climb, and that could just drag on forever. So what I did was I just went around and marked the map. I'm going to go ahead and point out all treasure chests, all Korok seeds. This way we can save about 3 hours or so of actually having to walk around and get all this stuff. Alright, so we actually initially launched from Hebra Tower. We went over this way for this shrine. We found a treasure chest. This one's right by a flagpole out in the open. You can see I got a Korok seed there. That has a rock on top of that mountain peak there. This Korok seed, there's a snowball. Pick it up, drop it, and it should roll right into a hole there. Let's see here. There's a treasure chest inside that bad boy nest. Pretty straightforward. There's a Korok seed right there. You got to pick up the rock. Alright, and I didn't get too down south here. I kind of stuck to the mountainous areas, just so you're aware. But there's that shrine we got. And I did kind of forget there's a Korok seed right behind that shrine. It's on that island. So it's, you know, underwater there. You got to kind of swim across to that underground island there. Just walk around behind the shrine and pick up a rock, and there's a Korok seed there for you. Just down the way, you will find a treasure chest in that bad boy nest. And I do believe there's a Korok seed out here also on top of that tree. If you're going to go down that far, you might as well get the tree. And then kind of going back up to the north here, there's a Korok seed here. You'll find a little yellow flower right there, and you'll kind of have to follow it across the bridge. While you're there, go ahead and grab you a treasure chest. That's under the water. There's another treasure chest over here. You might have to melt an ice block to get that one. This one is actually way out in the middle of the lake here. You're looking for like a stone pillar sticking up out of the water. It'll be on top of that. Another treasure chest here. That one's out in the open. Some bad boys around the area. But you'll also find some gemstones there, so it might be worth your while. Another treasure chest right there. I think you have to melt an ice block for that one or blow up a false wall. One of those two. Another one right here. Again, you'll either have to melt an ice block or blow up a false wall. This treasure chest is behind a false wall. I know that one for sure. And then kind of heading back over to where we were. These two Korok seeds here, you're going to have to pop a balloon for. So you should see like a little floating balloon kind of above the water in both spots. Alright, this Korok seed was... Let's see here. We had to actually fly up here, or climb I should say. There's going to be one of those little podiums you have to stand on that'll activate the Korok. And he'll fly out this direction, and you'll just have to get to the little ring of orbs or whatever in time. This Korok seed should be a rock to pick up right on this ledge. Alright, let's kind of go back over here. There's another Korok seed there. You're going to have to melt an ice block for that guy. Alright, so that kind of takes care of this whole little area down here. Then from there, we teleported. We kind of cheated a little bit, and we went up to the shrine. But I didn't take the time to get all this stuff, because it was already a lengthy walkthrough, and you know, like I said, there's a lot of time involved with climbing around and getting to all this stuff. But as you can see, there's a ring of rocks there. Simply find where the missing rock is and walk in that general direction. You'll find the missing rock. In fact, I think it's back here somewhere, or possibly over here. Anyway, you'll know once you see the missing rock. And then all the way on top of this massive mountain peak, there's a rock to pick up for another Korok. There is also a treasure chest there buried in the snow. Now to get up here a little quicker, there's an updraft. If you kind of meander around here, you'll see it. Just jump out into it, and that'll kind of get you all the way to the top of this area. And then the climb to that is a little bit better, or shorter, I should say. Alright, this treasure chest is a little misleading. It's actually down here on this level, and you'll want to melt a giant ice block to get to him. There's a Korok hiding behind kind of a slab of stone. It's wedged in there pretty good, so you'll have to kind of stand over here a little bit and look underneath like a big overhang, and you'll kind of see it wedged in there. Alrighty, so from there, we kind of continued on to the northwest. There's a treasure chest sitting here for you. That one's buried in a block of ice you gotta melt. This Korok seed is on top of this little hut. Just climb on top and go to the chimney, you'll see it. I didn't go for all these, but I'll go ahead and point them out. There's a Korok seed there. You have to climb a tree. You'll see it. Bad boy nest with a treasure chest. Hey, that kind of rhymes. Or it sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. This Korok seed, as you can see, there's a formation of rocks there. You gotta find the hidden rock or missing rock. Back up here, you'll see a treasure chest right in that little spot there, that little wedge. There's another. That one's buried in the snow. This one is buried in the snow also, but I thought it might be smart to kind of let you guys know there are some bad guys right there, so you can't just simply, leisurely grab that one. You'll have to deal with some bad guys there for that one. And then I'll just kind of finish up that little area down there. I rode my horse around, make sure I got everything, but there is a bad boy nest here. Now be careful with this treasure chest, folks. There's going to be a bunch of ice arrows flying at you from different directions. So you might want to climb up somewhere and then jump down and start that one from the top and work your way down. You might find that a little easier to take care of all those bad guys. But yeah, that one you might want to be prepared for. Arm up, suit up, and eat up. And you're probably going to get your butt kicked there a time or two. But, again, it's treasure, so... Anyway, there's another one right there, and then of course you can see the rocks for another Korok seed there. Alrighty, so let's kind of back up a little bit. I think I left off here, so we can kind of continued along the summit peaks. So the stuff that would be a little quicker to get, you've got a Korok seed sitting right there, pretty easy to get to. This one is... I can't remember now if you have to melt some ice to find that one or if that's a rock to pick up. But, oh no, that one's a rock to pick up. That's right. So that one you have to get to by jumping down into the hot spring and then kind of swim your way over to that shoreline there. And it's underneath all this overhang rock stuff. But you'll see it sitting there. Just like I said, just pick that rock up and that'll expose him. Alright, what else do we have up this way? We've got that treasure chest buried in the snow. Another Korok seed. I think that one's a acorn husk you have to pop to expose him, and a log that's kind of hunched over. And if you want to go down for it, there's a treasure chest there you can find buried in the snow. Same thing over here. This Korok seed... I think I had to climb a tree to get that one. It was the dead tree in the bunch that you had to climb. And then this Korok seed, honestly, I can't remember how I got that one, but it was pretty clear what you had to do there, so just go to that spot and you'll kind of see it. I think that's either a pinwheel or something along those lines where you can see pretty clearly. Alright, then ultimately we wound up right in this area. You can see there's a water spot there. And you'll have to pick up a snowball where I've got this star. And you'll have to ice block that in, fill it in good. Try to squeeze 2 ice blocks in there. Drop that snowball right there. It'll bust down a couple of big stone doors. Right about there. And that's probably not exact, but that'll get you pretty close. Anyway, that's important because there's some stuff underground here. So the map is a little misleading. I'm going to start with the Korok seed that's down there. Once you're in that big cavern... Go to the end of that giant skeleton, you'll see a flower, and you'll have to kind of walk along the skeleton, different points with that flower. It ultimately ends there. That shrine is also underground there, along with that skeleton and that Korok seed. Okay, let's get back above ground here. There's a treasure chest. That one might be in an ice block. I think I already mentioned that one. That one's buried in the snow. There's another one down here. I think that one's an ice block as well. Alright, so there's a Korok seed here. And that one you have to melt an ice block to get to. Same thing with that treasure chest, so there will be some ice blocks right next to each other there. Another treasure chest. That's a false wall. So look around for the little cobblestones you can blow up with a bomb. This is kind of way down. It's on this ledge here, so just go down there, walk over to it. That's an ice block you'll have to melt. And there's an updraft there, so take advantage of that to kind of get yourself back up here quickly. And I just kind of marked that because there are some gemstones there that's worthwhile to pick up. And here we've got another Korok. That's a puzzle block configuration. And I was actually standing right by it. Kind of miffed me a little bit. But I found one of them. It was under the snow, and there's another one right behind a false wall. So I was literally standing right by it. It didn't register. Alright, so moving on, we've got a Korok seed here. This one's a little tricky. You've got a shield slide to get to it quick enough, because once you activate that pedestal, boy, did they time that ring of lights just right, because if you're not aiming right at it and you don't shield surf just perfectly, you're not going to get there. So you might have to try that one a few times. Alright, that one is pretty easy. Just climb to the top of that summit, and you'll see the balloons you have to pop. I think that's pretty much it for the northern area. Okay, then from here, we kind of continued on south. There's a treasure chest in that bad boy nest there. Also one hiding there. Korok seed on top of that mountain peak. Simply pick up the rock. Treasure chest here. Can't remember if that's false wall or buried in the snow. You'll see it though. It'll be there for you. Same thing with this guy here, buried in the snow, I believe. Okay, this Korok seed, once again, pick up the rock. Here's another one buried in the snow for you. And another Korok seed on top of that little mountain peak. Once again, pick up the rock. And I actually misspoke. I said this Hinox was actually down here somewhere by the Lionel, but I had it backwards. The Hinox is actually up here on the top side, and then the Lionel is down below. So just kind of wanted to clarify that in this video. Okay, once again, you've got a treasure chest, and I think this one's out in the open by a flagpole. There is a Korok seed here. There's a pedestal. Now, wow, they make you really work for this one, because that's where the pedestal is, and that's where that Korok seed ends up. Actually, it's right over here. So you just gotta, like, as soon as you step on that pedestal, you gotta be real quick. You gotta jump in the air, you know, open that glider, just fly down here as quickly as you can over all this stuff, and then you should be able to make that one in time with a couple of light balls left over. And that one I didn't get either, but you can see the rocks there. Just once again, look for those missing rocks, walk in that direction, and it'll take you right to where the missing rock is. All right, one more. This is a pinwheel. Simply blow up the balloons. What else did we have over here? There's another Korok seed. Simply pick up the rock. And again, there's a Lionel there, so be aware. All right, from there, we kind of just made our way over to this area, and I told you guys I'd find this stuff later because it was getting kind of lengthy. But this treasure chest, that one's a little tricky. That's the one I kind of went back and forth on a little bit. I knew it was there somewhere. I just wasn't seeing it. Stand on this ledge here and then look up. You're going to see a false wall you have to blow up, but it's too high up for bombs, so you're going to have to use bomb arrows to expose that one. And with any luck, it'll land right there on that ledge for you, and you'll be able to collect that treasure. All right, there's a Korok seed here. And I actually marked that because that's where the missing rock is, and that was quite a hike, so it was far enough away I thought I should point that out for you. Simply pick the rock up and put him in his missing spot there. This Korok seed is behind a false wall, so just kind of climb up onto this ledge and you'll see it right under that, tucked under there real good. Alright, and then to get to that shrine, it's on this ledge. You'll see a couple of torches lit, real hard to get to. But if you're standing on the top here, you won't see it. You kind of got to look down. Okay, treasure chest inside the bad boy nest. Not too much else going on over here. Like I said, things are really just kind of spread out. Treasure chest buried in the snow there. And that one might actually be attached to a bad boy nest, so be aware of that. Okay, I think I called these out already. Let's see here. There's a couple of treasures here. Bad Boy Nest and out in the open or behind a false wall. One of those two. That one I believe is buried in the snow. And again, there's a Bad Boy Nest up there, so be aware. I also marked this because there is a Guardian out there, so you might want to steer clear of him, especially if you hate Guardians. Alright, there's a rock where you can pick that up and expose that Korok. And then down here in the ditch, I think that was an ice block you had to melt. Wow, I can't remember anymore. It's been a minute. But yeah, just go down there and you'll see it. This one, buried in the snow. Or that one might have been actually a false wall. No, that one was just out there for you. And this one here, either out in the open or buried in the snow. I already got those. This one here, buried in the snow. Actually, I already covered these. So yeah, we just made our full loop and came back around full circle there. Alright guys, I know that was a lot. But again, it just made a lot more sense to, get to those key points as quickly as possible. Kind of get the quick and easy stuff along the way. And then show you the map of everything at the end. So I hope that helps with your Hebra Mountain Peak kind of loot. Hope that helps. Best of luck and happy hunting.